I think there's some problem. She's not able to join. Chandini
She's there.
is there, so she should start.
ये है
Hello.
Yes, Chandini, please
Hello.
start.
please start.
Hello.
Yes, you're audible. You can start, Chanidi.
Hello.
Hello, if we are audible to you.
Hello. Hello.
Chandini, you are audible.
I think we are
but
not
nobody is
audible.
audible to me. Hello. Shall I share the screen?
Yeah.
Give me
Aditi,
2
ask her.
seconds. I'm sharing the screen. There's a power cut here.
Can she join by phone?
I'm sharing. Just give me 2 minutes. Is the screen visible?
Yeah. Yes. It's visible.
Good afternoon and very warm welcome to all the panelists, respected speakers, and the delegates uh, to the plenary session of the Regional Convention on Role of Human Resource Function in the World of Artificial Intelligence. The session will be chaired by Dr. Santosh Sir, and the speakers are Mr. Prabhas Abhay Kumar and Ms. Sodhi Devan. Let me start by introducing our session chair, Dr. Santosh Sir. Dr. Dhar is a rector and dean faculty of doctoral studies and research at Sri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya, Indore. She has been engaged in teaching, research, corporate training, and consultancy for the last 42 years. She has widely published her work and has more than 460 publications to her credit. Her earlier assignments have been Professor, Sri Vaishnav Institute of Management, Indore, Professor, MET Business School, MET University, Greater Noida Campus, Professor, Institute of Management and Dean Research, JK Lakshmipat University, Jaipur, Senior Professor, OB HR, Jaipuria Institute of Management, Jaipur, Professor and Chairperson, OB HR Area, Institute of Management, Nirma University, Ahmedabad, and guest faculty at IIM Kolkata and MICA, Ahmedabad. Many research scholars have been awarded PhD degree under her supervision. She has designed and conducted management development programs for the executives of several business houses such as Gratham Industries, JK Tyre, Bridgestone, Hindustan Motors, ONGC, and GAIL, to name a few. She has been on the panel of reviewers of Oxford University Press and Tata McGraw-Hill. She was managing editor of Prestige Journal of Management and Research and Prestige Research Abstracts. She has been chairperson of Indian Society for Training and Development, Indore and Jaipur chapters, and was on the editorial board of Indian Journal of Training and Development. Dr. Dhar had coordinated the implementation of a project on the empowerment of women through enterprise in North India from the year 2000 to 2002, which was funded by Canadian International Development Agency, CIDA. She has completed the research project on problems of women trainers in India and quality of work life as a determinant of mental health in pharmaceutical industry. She has also been principal investigator for Asian Development Bank funded project and Rajasthan government sponsored RUIDP consultancy project on capacity building of ULPs of different towns of Rajasthan. She has twice been chairperson of Indian Society for Training and Development, Jaipur and Indore chapter. We welcome you, ma'am. Our first speaker for the plenary session is Mr. Prabhat Abhay Kumar, presently working as Director, Manager, and he has also managed Service Operations and Site Leader, TRG, Green India. He has Bachelor's in Engineering from Bangalore University, MS from St. Mary's University, US, MBA from Our Lady of the Lake University, US. Mr. Abhay Kumar has over 28 years of leadership experience across banking, financial services, logistics, high-tech, and retail sectors. He is an expert in digital transformation, enterprise product, platform development, and building offshore delivery centers. He has a proven track record in leading technology businesses with P&L personality. The area of his expertise are artificial intelligence and digital strategy transformation, agile leadership and transformation, technology startups, offshore development, and center management. We welcome you, sir. The second speaker for the plenary session is Ms. Surbhi Diwan. She has postgraduate in HR and she is alumnus of New York University and also a certified PI and top grading practitioner with more than 20 years of experience across industries like real estate, logistics, public relations, IT, logistics, and ITB. She is a drafting committee member for the 1992 Code of Practice on Safety and Health in Construction Industry and has represented India at the International Labour Organization India. Other accolades include recipient of the Business World 40 Under 40 Club of Achievers 2020 and People First HR Excellence Future Leaders Award 2021, aside to being jury member for varied HR Fraternity Awards. In her current role, she is a member of the leadership team heading HR at Ashiana Housing Limited. We welcome you, ma'am. Now, I request Dr. Santosh Sir, ma'am, to start the plenary session. Ma'am, please.
Thank you, Chandni. I think I'm audible.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I once again welcome our esteemed resource persons. Now, to start with, AI can accompany new era of human resource management, where data analytics, machine learning, and automation can work together to save people time and support higher quality outcomes. As AI technology moves beyond automation to augmentation, companies are looking at how AI tools can make the work of human resource better for employees and the job seekers. It's not just about saving time. It's also about providing information, insights, and recommendations in near real time. According to a survey, executives estimate that 40% of their workforce will need to reskill as a result of implementing AI and automation. This shift is viewed as an expansion of job possibilities. In fact, 87% of respondents believe employee roles are more likely to be augmented than replaced by generative AI, with the effects of varying depending on job function. AI use in HR refers to the deployment of machine learning, natural language processing, and other AI technologies to automate human resource tasks and support decision making. It enables a data-based approach to talent acquisition, employee advancement and retention that seeks to mitigate bias and enhance the job seekers and employees' experiences. AI tools have the capabilities to assist HR leaders in a wide range of areas like employee records management, recruitment and hiring processes, payroll processing, performance management assessments, benefits administration, onboard of new employees, and other similar functions. This transition will have a direct impact on HR functions as companies look to fill roles that perform augmented tasks and workers seek new jobs as their own functions change. AI adoption in HR function has the potential to assist HR teams in this new landscape. Emerging AI tools are rapidly advancing fast efficiency and becoming tools for innovation, something that frees up team members to think about HR more strategically while still providing a human touch. Companies today have the potential to use artificial intelligence in HR functions and processes to inform decision making, making interaction with HR easier for employees and free up time to make better hiring decisions and invest in employee satisfaction and retention. These conversations are happening as the workforce is undergoing a major change. Today, we have practitioners Prabhas Kumar, Director of Managed Service Operations and Site Leader, TRG Bangalore, and Dr. Surabhi Diwan, Vice President, Human Resource Ashiana Houses in New Delhi, with us. Let us hear from them as what is the actual scenario, how far companies are facilitated by AI, and what are the challenges. May I request Mr. Prabhas to give us some insights. Prabhas.
Thank you, Dr. Santosh. Before I start, thank you, Dr. Aditi, for giving me this opportunity to be part of this esteemed panel and discussion. So when you sent me this email, I was wondering, I'm a technology guy and technology and little bit of operations experience. What will I talk or what will I give my wisdom on the HR? Then I thought, what better person to talk about what are the opportunities that exist on the HR side and how companies can take advantage of technology. And that's when I thought, okay, let me look at it in a different way. And here we are. TV Rao pretty much summarized everything that we need to discuss as part of this forum, right? So let's expand on it. And also, Dr. Santosh, to what you mentioned, today, in any field that you look at, in any industry, be it on the IT services side, manufacturing, or any other services, we have an array of people working, right from little bit of baby boomers still exist, Gen Z, Gen Y, Gen X, and the latest one is called Gen Alpha. And whoever is to be born in 2025, I believe they are to be called as Beta, right? So if you look at all these generation, each of them have different personalities, different expectation, different needs, different ways of working, different skill set, and all of that. So HR cannot adopt one policy or one thought process when addressing their wide uh, employee base, right? On all aspects, not just on the benefits, but on all aspects in terms of training, how they keep them engaged, and on all of those things, right? So gone are those days where there could be one manual, one set of training brochure or whatever. Now it has to be customized. It has to be highly personalized, looking at the needs of all of these generation. So that is one point. And I will and as I explain all of this, I'll mention how AI can help, right? So first thing is Gen AI. We all are using this in our day-to-day life. So this has tremendous potential in terms of not necessarily uh, letting anybody lose their job, but also,
I have been
but more so in
क्लास में
terms
रहता हूँ
of
मैं फर्स्ट और
how
सेकंड अटेम्प्ट
someone,
कर सकती हूँ क्योंकि अभी अगर मैं तुम्हारी कॉपीज रखूंगी तो सेकंड नहीं कर पाओगे तो
one of the participant, can you please go on
Sorry,
mute,
sorry,
please?
I've just muted her.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Chandni, please put off your mic.
Thank you. So Chennai can help in fastening whatever we were doing, and of course with a lot of new inputs, new ideas that probably we were not able to think. So we can definitely leverage that. Keeping aside all the other aspects of data privacy, validating the output of all of that needs to be done. But adoption of Gen AI, especially on the HR side, and why I brought this up as the first topic is I just joined this firm called TRG Screen. It's a 20-year-old company in US, but we set up a development and operation center here in Bangalore just about 3 or 4 months back, and we are setting up everything from scratch. And especially on the HR side, which is the first focus area, we are leveraging that. We are leveraging Gen AI right from building employee manuals, right from building the policies and understanding what we need to put as guardrails and all the suggestions that Gen AI can give. Right. So I'll not talk in terms of, I'll not mention what to use and all of that, but I'll just say how to leverage things and how to benefit. That is one. And another aspect is there are multiple use cases, but another very key use case is employee onboarding. Even large companies have not been able to have smooth employee onboarding, right? I'm not just talking about digitization of the onboarding. I'm looking at going beyond that, right? So I'll go back to the different generation, right? So here again, you can't have the same employee onboarding experience for all of them. It has to be tailored made, right? And how companies engage the candidate right from the interview process till the from to the offer, and till the time the employee joins the organization and post joining onboarding, right? So when I say onboarding, I'm talking about the complete life cycle. I'm not just talking about from the day the employee joins the organization. So this is very key today, especially in the IT side. There is, to ensure one person joins the company, we spend close to 6 months, because some of them after offer do not join us. We have multiple offers to the candidate depending on the skill set and all of those, right? So there is so much of investment that we do, and some of the gaps today in this cycle is how companies keep the potential employee engaged, especially when an offer is made and we have a waiting period of 60 days to 90 days before the employee joins, right? That's where the biggest gap is. So that's where company can utilize AI in terms of being engaged, gamify the experience, and keep the candidate engaged and build the stickiness with the employer, right? That is another key use case, another key gap. Um, Next one, which again being new to this company here, which I experience and even established companies have this, is the background verification. It's still very paper based, right? Even in today's digital and AI world, it's very paper based. And today, when we talk about background verification, what are we looking at? We are looking at validating employing history. We are looking at validating any criminal history, residence proof, blah blah blah. All of that information is today available in the digital world. All right. So and companies are still relying on paper-based, human-based verification process, right? So big opportunity to leverage AI and put all the guardrails in terms of fraud detection and all of those things to completely digitize this, right? So if this happens, a complete industry will be literally washed out, right? Or they'll have to look for other alternatives or to scale up into something else, right? But it's a big advantage for the employer to not only reduce the cost of employee background verification, but also accelerate it, right? Many times we are not able to confirm employment, or we are not able to put someone on a critical projects because background verification is being done. Just think about the loss of capital, loss of time in that delay, right? So I'll stop here. I'll continue on a few other use cases and few other topics. But the key here is not to just jump on saying there are AI tools in the market. How do we adopt them? No, no, no. This is the mistake that many of them do. It's not about how you go and do about, it's why you need to do it. That's the first question we need to ask, be it on the technology side or on the HR side, why we need to do what we plan to do, right? So identifying the use case, what is the effort that goes in building that solution, and building this solution in a very agile way. Because in the AI world, when you're talking about, depending on the use case, when you're talking about large set of data, your output will not be great or may not be great in the very first release, right? It will take time, especially when you're building machine learning models and algorithms, other thing. It will take time, but that's where you need to do it in a very agile way and improve on how things are progressing. And you should be able to define ROI for every instance, right? So without ROI, if you embark on something, either the cost might be too much or your benefits might be too less. So definition of ROI is very key. And all of these things were even valid in the pre-AI world, but more so in the AI world, this becomes very important because some of your investment on technology can be quite expensive, right? So ask the question why we need to do it, and then get into how we do it by going through the process of refining the use case, the effort, adopting agile, and building ROI. I'll take a pause and we can continue with other use cases that I have in mind or other questions we can answer.
Yes. If we have some questions, audience.
Okay. Can we listen to the next speaker and then we could
Okay. May I
because
request
students cannot, they can only post the question.
may I request our second speaker?
Sure. Good afternoon, everybody. In fact, on the contrary to having a conversation, I decided to put in a small presentation. If you allow me, I'd like to quickly go
Yeah.
through some of the slides.
Yeah,
Just
sure.
trying to keep it a little light. So while I know, first and foremost, a big thank you to Aditi for reaching out and getting everything coordinated so quickly. And a big warm welcome to everybody here. So if I were to look at AI and HR, I think it's all about embracing future. We all have known technology has helped us move from one generation to another. It's changed our lives. It's all about how we embrace it and how quickly we embrace it. So if I look at our life with AI in today's date, that's what a morning commute looks like. Somebody wakes up, we give a command to Alexa. Our commute to work, we've got Google Maps, we've got Gmail. We'll quickly refer to what's the schedule for the day, the calendars, everything there. HR at work, we've got Lena AI, SAP. You've got a whole bunch of softwares to look at and help you be more productive at work. And of course, when I come back at home, I have Alexa and X and Netflix and Amazon to give me company and get some of my chores done. So when we've got so much of technology already in our lives, I think as HR, we need to realize we're already working with AI and technology, which means we've also evolved in our roles from just being pure play personnel to being HR business leaders. And how do we do that is we have a lot more insight, which AI helps us with in today's day. The adaptation of this new technology is enabling us to be more of a business partner in today's date, and not just a clerical function which never had a seat at the leadership table and did not have a talk or a say at the leadership level. Different ways in which HR has already adopted AI. from talent management to workforce planning, a plethora of places that we deploy AI. So one thing that I'd like to remind everybody, it's not a robot that we're trying to, fight with. We're basically partnering with them. Imagine for a second, AI does, imagine this to be a dance. AI is going to help you do the choreography, the sound, the backdrops and everything, but it is still the HR, the human element that will give life to that particular dance, right? So Jim Collins in his book always speaks about the magic of and. So in any corporate, we always have purpose and profit, continuity and change, freedom and responsibility, discipline and creativity, humility and will, and empirical analysis and decisive action. So it's not either or, it's a combination of and. And the same thing applies to us in HR also, where we say it's HR and AI. The small video to show how it's impacted and how it's already seeded in our day-to-day lives. Sorry.
Artificial intelligence is changing the way how humans interact with technology for better decisions. Automation with AI in recruitment is giving the hiring team an advantage in a highly competitive market. Here is how AI helping human resources in achieving better and quicker results. AI in recruitment. It has been strengthening HR functions and becoming a must-have in the recruiter's toolbox. You can automate low-level tasks, get data for informed decision-making, and immediately reduce operational costs. A resume parser or job parser makes a better experience in the hiring process for both recruiters and candidates. AI in employee engagement. By leveraging natural language processing, you can know about employees' morale, sentiments, and engagement levels. When businesses adopt artificial intelligence, they can get an incredible increase in productivity, which directly impacts growth. AI in learning and development. It can change the learning and development sector by offering more optimized and effective training methods and techniques. Companies can easily recognize talented employees and find out people who need opportunities to sharpen their skills. Do you want to know how AI in recruiting can help your organization save more time and money? Contact us at.
So if I were to sum up how HR is enabled with AI in today's date, we've got multiple opportunities to discover and explore the entire recruitment lifecycle. L&D, of course, we've got Coursera, LinkedIn, and many others to help us with a customized content basis the roles, basis the function, and other customizations that are also available at a larger org level. Performance management, we've got IBM Watson, a lot of predictive analysis that can be used to leverage even something as complex as retention and attrition management. And of course, AI bots which help answer a lot of the questions on the go without really actually waiting for somebody to answer a query over an email or a ticketing system. So in essence, we've got better productivity, we've got structured processes, costs, and of course, more data-driven decision-making, which enables the entire HR function and cutting across all of the sub-functions of HR. Some of the tools that I look at and across departments and functions, we've got things for lawyers, for editors, you name the industry, you name the domain, and AI is enabling each of these functions. And this is what the HR tech space looks with AI. You've got a whole bunch of things that you can choose from. However, when you're deploying any kind of AI or technology in your organization, couple of things that we need to be cognizant of. So as HR leaders, while we stay updated, we collaborate with technology and data teams, we pilot AI with a responsibility, make sure that the ethical compass is in place when we're deploying technology. But we need to first stop and think of the purpose. What exactly is my outcome? What's going to be the end goal? If I'm piloting a particular AI technology into the organization, I must also pause and reassess, is it really making sense? Or am I ending up copying some other organization just because I want to be following the AI trend or the technology trend in the market? If it is working well for us, we must go ahead and amplify the usage. I'll give an example over here. So Lena AI is a chatbot. And similarly, we had multiple chatbots available to deploy in our organization, in my current organization to be specific. Ashana Housing is a real estate developer firm. Now, here we had the option of deploying a chatbot to enable as well as reduce some of the routine mundane queries which the bots could have answered. The bot would have come in multiple languages, which is one of the key features. However, this feature to my organization did not make sense. Reason being, out of about 1,000 people, 400 people of my workforce were not smartphone users, they were feature phone users. So I could not have deployed technology for the sake of being a tech savvy and an up-to-date HR. It did not make sense, and I would end up creating a differential approach to two different segments of my organization. One segment which is very tech enabled, and the other which would end up being technology deprivated. So I had to take a cognitive decision, a very conscientious decision, and say no. I'm not going to be in the rush to deploy technology which rest of the industry or an IT enabled or a tech savvy industry is doing, while as I can't have a large population of 40% of my population not being able to even have basic access to this. So whenever thinking of AI adoption, we must have a very, very clear compass of what is it that I require. Second piece in the strategy for adoption, whenever we want to augment the entire process, we need to do it in three phases: short term, medium term, and long term. Short term, we may start looking at things that, it is going to give us a good user experience. There's quality, there's accuracy, there's cost cutting. But in the long run, we also need to start seeing how am I enabling people in the organization with this technology? Am I getting better predictions? And also, what is my interaction with the human side? I can't entirely depend on data and the analytics that come through AI. I will need an HR person to sit through and rationalize the output that I get from an algorithm, which needs to have a human element. Last but not the least, when I'm amplifying whatever technology I have initiated in the organization, how is it impacting decision making? How many processes has it automated? Just like Prabhas had said, we need to understand what am I signing up for? What is the purpose for it? Am I also improving efficiencies for my team? So these are some of the lenses that we need to keep in mind while setting up AI in the organization from a pilot project to an org-wide initiative. So this is what happens in real estate. Over the years, we've started using a lot of AI tools to demand forecasting. We also have chatbots. Came COVID, we also started using a lot of our AI tools to start doing virtual home demos. When we had zero traction, people would not be able to come to the site. That's when this technology really, really enabled us to move, and we had to flex the muscle of the entire organization to adapt. It wasn't easy, it was a slow process. We also evolved, and with every evolution, we stumbled, we learned, and then gradually we started to play with it and actually run with it over a period of time. So the future of work is going to be human plus AI. We will definitely be a lot more agile, smarter. We'll not go and only end up doing hard work. There's going to be a lot of smart work that everybody does. But I definitely believe the human spirit will always be part of the technology that we deploy, always. And who is going to get replaced is professionals who don't keep up with times. I'm not saying everything technology, but we need to have a very, very fine balance on what we need, what we can adopt in the organization, and how we can deploy it for making our work smarter, better, faster. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now, if the students have any, they can write their questions. Chandini?
Yes,
Kuch hai? Is it a page? Some questions are there. Are there some questions from the students or participants? In the chat box?
So, there are no questions from the participants in the chat box right now.
Okay.
If any participants, students or delegates have any questions, please ask. You can put it in the chat box.
So while the students are thinking of a question, can I sort of ask a question?
Yes, you are also a participant, no?
So I was actually wondering, that AI can capture everything that is put on the internet or anywhere it has to be, okay? But how to capture the nuances of feelings and hurt and sarcasm and which are a part of the way people communicate and which really cannot be captured by numbers and
Correct,
things
correct.
like this.
If I could take a stab at that,
Mm.
um, and this is where COVID spoiled everything for us, according to me, right? Because post-COVID, the AI acceleration kind of started, and COVID came at a time when AI was just booming, and a lot of the physical aspects of human beings are at the crossroads. So specifically, what you said, why I say this is when COVID hit, my son was in eighth grade, and he was right at that crossroads of adopting digital in terms of wanting a smartphone and all of those things, right? So when COVID hit, we all had to adopt digital, right? And working from home or attending school from home, all of those started, and that's where the emotional, physical aspects of human nature took a downward trend, right? Socializing stopped. People, especially children, did not understand many aspects of socializing and handling stress, handling situation, and things like that, right? Completely deprived of it. And of course, they gain knowledge on the other aspects in the digital world. So let's not go there. But coming back to your point, uh, so keeping what I mentioned as the basis, I feel the next generation will continue in that. Even though we have come back to some kind of normalcy, the next generation, the generation alpha or the generation beta, will be totally different from the previous generations in terms of how they interact, what are their emotions, and the challenge for us as parents, as professionals, would be how do we understand it? How do we capture it, and how do we synthesize it, and and how do we react, right? Uh, because 6 months back, when we were having a, I don't know if it is the echo on my side. I do not know why. Okay, 6 months back, when we were handling a fresher induction program in our company, in my previous company, these were freshers from college, straight from college, engineering graduates, and typically one of the leader addresses them, and I had the option of addressing them, and interacting with them was an eye opener, right? Because many of them had spent about 2 or 3 years, at least 2 years, like I said, uh, getting educated from home, and they thought that's the world, right? Now, when this fresh graduates who had different kind of experience came to the corporate world in a physical form, I mean, their expression, they it felt like a kid was going into a Legoland and being excited and things, right? So that's how they were, and at the same time, there were a lot of questions. So the 2 hour session that was planned went on to become 4 hours, where we had to look at ways to onboard them in a way where we don't overwhelm them, and we also take their feedback saying, uh, you're new to the corporate world, these are the things that we have planned, but are there anything beyond that you would like us to take care of, right? And there was, when that question was asked, there was a plethora of questions, plethora of requests that came, and this is where HR took notes, saying that we have a lot to do uh, to address this new generation in terms of their expectation. And another point that struck me was what TV Rao mentioned. Today, traditionally, not just HR, we all just think Maslow hierarchy is it. It's a template for our life needs, right? So when you talk to the new generation, you will hear there are so many other things that they prioritize as need, right? So as HR professionals, uh, understanding these sentiments, understanding the needs, um, and formulating your policies and being there for them is very critical. Earlier in the days, employees used to go to HR only when there is a problem, or they would react to HR when something is asked for, right? Now the world has changed. HR needs to be connected in various forms, right? Of course, with the lean strength of the HR department, connecting with each and every other employee is not practical. So that's where technology comes into the picture to understand. And this is another point that I wanted to highlight is how do we understand the sentiment of our employees? Sentimental analysis. I think that's a big opportunity. I'll just take 2 more minutes, Dr. Mala, if you're okay. Uh, Sentimental analysis is a big opportunity, according to me. Keeping aside privacy and keeping aside other aspects of data and other things, like I said, even in my earlier explanation, uh, for companies, medium to large size companies, this is a huge potential. Just like how we have Digi today, when we go to the airport, and almost even Digi Yatra might be decommissioned in the future, right? Your iris scan is a passport not only to enter but to go through all the way, right? So technology is already there, right? So if that technology can be adopted in your organization to understand your employees' behavior, to understand your employees' feelings, this will not only help in understanding the well-being of your employees, where you can intervene and have counseling sessions and address their needs, right? Uh, this can you have enough data today. Companies have enough data today to understand the productivity of employees, right? So based on that data, if you can customize training needs for each individuals, that is a big opportunity. So your L&D cannot just say we are so and so organization and this is our scope of work, or this is the training that we need to give, right? That can continue, but customizing based on individuals, that is what will be appreciated. That is one aspect. Another one is performance analysis. So today the performance is predominantly based on what you set at the beginning of the year, right? In January, you set something as OKR or KPIs, and you track that over the course of the year. And sometimes you do not even track, but you go at the end of the year, you look at something that was set about 9 or 12 months back, but a lot of things would have changed. A lot of dynamics would have changed. How do you, and this is where many companies, I'm not saying has a flawed, but has areas to improve in terms of how they do performance analysis, right? So this is where capturing data in terms of how the employees are performing, what they have learned, how they have adopted, and how they need to be placed in the way in projects or in teams where their full potential can be can be harnessed, right? um, I think that's another opportunity. Why I say this is not everybody coming out of a college at the same grade will perform will perform at the expected level that you need, right? They might have different performance level, they might have different training needs. It's We all know sometimes an individual working in one team where he or she is not working out might be a star performer in some other team. How do you identify that, right? More than the individual saying, you as a HR, we as project managers or leaders, we need to be able to say, these are your skill sets, these are your trainings need, and this is where you'll excel, right? So sorry, I went into a lot of things, but a lot of those things have correlation to human elements of behavior, attitude, emotions, and other things, which in today's world, uh, while we are getting back to work, but technology can capture all of that and help HR professionals as well as other leaders to take decisions and ensure employee welfare, employee reduce employee attrition, and well-being of the organization.
I would like to give one more, insight over here, very relatable and something which I experienced in my recent professional journey. So I remember in COVID, with all of the mandates that everybody is going to be homebound, nobody going to work. We had a classic example of Turner Constructions, a US-based large construction agency, which predominantly used drones to go ahead and check quality of construction. It would go to multi-floor buildings, high, tall skyscraper buildings, and check everything rather than an individual walking up the steps, an under constructed building, and doing the physical check. And that's something which was a need of the hour because labor is expensive in that part of the world. I'm not saying that we need to disrespect the people in our country, but I guess we were still far away from adoption of that kind of technology. And the real side scenario was that our engineers came back and said, we've had enough of COVID. अब कुछ भी हो जाएगा, हमें तो अपनी कर्म भूमि पे उतरना है. We've tried droning this that. We also in today's date have a software which prevents an HR and engineer from not doing the sign off in the correct manner, which is they have to go to the 12 floors. If somebody is sitting at the ground floor and taking pictures and saying that yes, I'm approving something for the 12th floor, the app is not going to say that I will allow you to move to the next level because you're still on the ground floor. It will capture the height from where you are to the actual level that you were supposed to be. So we adopted technology, but on the other side, flip side, when it comes to sentiments, certain things individuals do want to do it with the touch and feel. So that's where the balance needs to come. Another example is of a very, very recent generational issue. Ours is a legacy organization. So we've got people who worked with the organization for 28 years, 30 years to the very recent new hires, interns, and new kids on the block. So one of the HODs asked for a particular document to be prepared. And the Gen Zer goes and says that, hey, I'm ready, I've done my job, and here is the document. They deployed ChatGPT very conveniently to draft it. Draft was near perfect. However, the contextualization had to come, and that was done through the years of experience an individual has with the organization, with the role, and the nuances of the industry. So while ChatGPT threw up a good draft, but how it had to get contextualized and addressed to the final audience, that is something which requires us to see and strike the balance. That's all. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yes, if I may ask a question, please. So I was just wondering, how do you envision the way AI will change HR strategy in higher education sector? I mean, would it be the same as what you've outlined for the corporate sector, or would it be different? And if different, how would you be able to?
If I can just take.
I think I'm just asking, how are we going to be affected by AI?
Yeah. I'll try to keep it short and brief to answer this question. See, today, not just in higher education, just taking education as a topic is so open, and a lot of comments and debate on social platform in terms of, is the education system going to change? Do we really need schools, colleges, or even to the extent of MBA degree being a junk? There's no values, blah blah blah. All of those things we have seen. So AI, I feel, has democratized learning. Of course, the aspects again, the aspects of hallucination or accuracy, relevance, and all of those comes into the picture. That's where, as AI in terms of technology progresses, all of these will mature. So again, goes back to the human context of it, right? So it depends on what you are looking for in a degree or in a certification. It depends on that, right? For me, uh, if I look at my MBA journey that I did about 20 years back, if I have to redo that today in today's world, right, I feel it's still relevant because my intent of doing the MBA was not to get an MBA degree, right? It was for for the experience of the individuals around me, right? It's for the experience of debating things, brainstorming things, coming up with ideas, right? Of course, all of this can also be done in the AI world, digital world, all of that. But the human experience is important, right? Uh, would you enjoy listening to a bot talking about certain things and explaining, or would you rather sit in a classroom and listen to a live teacher, right? Uh, the choice is yours. I think uh, it this the setup that we have in terms of the physical world, in terms of other traditions that we have, classrooms, and all of that will continue. It depends on the choice that the individual has to make. Both has advantages and disadvantages. It's just about the choice.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. We have a couple of questions from the students.
Yes, can you read out?
The first question is that what ethical hello
Yes, please.
hello
Hello,
what
Chandni, you are
ethical
audible.
considerations yes ma'am what ethical considerations should HR prioritize when implementing AI in people management, sir? Shall I repeat the question?
No, we heard it. We heard it.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you. Surabhi, I'll let you go first, and I'll add anything because this is very purely HR. But I'll add anything if I could from the technical perspective once you're done.
Sure. Thanks, Prabhas. So I think in terms of ethics, there's a lot that's going around. First and foremost, what comes to the mind is the fact that what's at stake. We have a lot of confidential information which we hold, all the way from personal data to performance data to compensation, any kind of disciplinary action, all of that. Now, that is critical information. It cannot be let go on. So, how well is my technology, you know, ensuring data privacy, and how do we take consent for using this information? All right, we may say that it is for research. It's not good. Everybody signs off without reading the most important, the MID, which is the most information, critical document, the ethics code. Everybody, I can guarantee, in 22 years, I don't think anybody even reads the 100 and 200, pager document. It's in fine print. Everybody just signs it and says, I agree to it. Whenever I'm signing up for Gmail, a new account that I create, there also I just go to the bottom of the page where it says I agree and I click on next. So Google has safeguarded themselves, and so does any other app that ask you to sign up and agree and give a consent. So when as an end user I'm providing my consent, when as a HR implementer I'm taking consent, it is legally binding. So how I'm running all of these aspects, which country I'm implementing it in, those things need to be contextualized. Also, a lot of times what happens is that for audit records, we may, as part of corporate law, also we have a mandate of restoring or maintaining information for a stipulated time period. I may have that information, but who all have the access to that information needs to be defined. It needs to be going through a maker, checker, and approver process. So those are the things that we need to keep in mind. Aside to the fact, basic things like surveillance and trust, how are we looking at dashboards? How are we making sure that none of the information is intrusive? We are making sure that there is enough trust and adequate firewalls in terms of technology are being deployed for whatever applications that we are running in the organization. So from an on-premise to to a cloud, an AWS, cloud that we may be using, a lot of these considerations need to be kept in place whenever we're making any such transitions.
No, I think you covered all of it. Since you mentioned Google, I'll just mention one anecdote in terms of what I did a couple of years back on my smartphone, right? Uh, Google or any large corporations, be it Facebook or whatever, you're right. We all accept it for the fact that we just want to get and start using it, right? But if you go on your smartphone or just on your Google account, it will take you close to 45 minutes, 60 minutes to understand all the things that they are capturing. They're capturing everything about you, right? To disable that, it will take you at least 30 minutes, right? So it's very important whether we are designing HR systems within our organizations or using applications like Google or whatever, right? It's very important to understand the data privacy concerns. Today, US and Europe is very strong on GDPR. India is also coming up with its own laws. Why I'm pointing out this is when we set up our new office here, our auditors and CAs were saying that India has come up with that and very soon it will implement. So just like how Europe says all of the personal data has to be within the European region, India also has mandated that our data should be stored and saved within the servers within the Indian boundaries, right? So understanding, especially if you're working in a global organization, understanding the regulations and changing legal framework in each of the regions is very important because technology guys will not know this, right? And you as HR, you are more concerned about how to take care of people and all of that, right? But your legal, to some extent, will have to look at it and socializing this across and implementing it without uh, defaulting on any of those and or implementing it before the deadline. That is very key. And I saw one more question on cheating on interviews or something like that, right? This is my favorite topic. Me being on the IT side, I've seen the the individual whoever typed the question is right. Candidates are ahead of technology, or they figure out how to beat technology, right? So when we started doing virtual interviews, we used to tell the candidate, keep the camera a little bit away so that we can see how you're sitting, where your hand is, and all of that. Today, I was a week back, I saw a video on LinkedIn which clearly demonstrated how you can beat all of that, right? Using voice prompt, right? And even if you have the candidate share the desktop, there is another screen where the AI prompt is running and answering everything, right? So with each step that you feel that you have discovered something and you are trying to put a guardrail around it, there's something else, either the candidate or technology has figured out how to beat it. And again, how simple it would be to ask the candidate to come to your office, finish the interview, and evaluate the candidate, right? Of course, there are other challenges. If someone is not within your location, not able to come, you lose out on that candidate and things like that. But this is another classic example where you can easily say technology doesn't solve everything. Technology probably sometimes create more problems and challenges than required. So there's no perfect playbook or no perfect answer to overcoming these kind of scenarios. You just need to adapt as you go.
Okay. Chandni, is there any other question?
Thank you, sir. Uh, Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We have a couple of more questions.
You can, because we are
Uh,
running short of time.
So, next
Maybe
question is, can AI truly humanize the hiring process, or does it risk dehumanizing it even more?
Well, if I have to take a stab at it, I've been while I've been on the technology side again, I've been talking to people, hiring people for my teams and others for a long time, and I've seen how the interview process or the interview cycle has taken advantage of technology, more so on digitizing the complete process. But we have also leveraged. Today there are tools on the technology side, on the IT side, to evaluate someone's coding skills. Today there are platforms to evaluate that, and it has gone one step further on in the AI world, where a bot will have conversations for you, right? Depending on what you have coded, and it can also be transformed to other areas, right? So, a literally virtual interviewer is available today. But just like other aspects, will the underlying technology be able to understand the I wouldn't say physical, but uh, other nuances like the cultural fit of the individual to the organization. Of course, there are psychological psychometric analysis tests, which also gives you result, but it's for you to interpret that, right? Yes, even AI models will interpret the psychometric test results and give you a result saying hire, do not hire. But I think that's where AI models are going at such a fast pace that you feel that today's maturity will increase another X percentage in another month or so. That's happening. But I still feel that relying on the result that an AI model gives, especially in terms of hiring decisions and promoting decisions, is still not there. That's my view. Ms. Surabhi, I will let you
Sure. Thanks,
give your
Prabhat.
views, how you feel confident about taking decisions based on output of those models.
So one thing for sure is, it does dehumanize it to some extent. I'll not completely take that away.
Mm.
We've got, the ATS system, a recruitment tracking system, where the applicant is going to submit the resume. It's passed through a particular algorithm and stuff. Yes, it does improve there is a success rate, there is a match rate, there is a, match to the qualifications, the work experience, the keywords. But what if the candidate has not put in those keywords? I'm definitely losing out on qualified candidates, all right, who could be from a very diverse work experience background. They may not have necessarily been 10 years in IT. They could have had 5 years here, 5 years there. So, and also people who have non-linear career path. They may never be seen by a human being because the ATS system has weeded these people out of the system. Also, the fact that yes, the psychometric test and everything do give you it will tell you the character.
Did we lose Miss Ruby, ma'am?
Do we have any other question? Yashwani?
Ma'am, last question.
Last question, please.
Yes. How should HR rethink workforce planning when AI can replace or augment the traditional roles?
Okay, since we lost Surbi, I will take this question. So, like Surbi mentioned in her presentation, the last slide, if you all remember, AI will not take over HR role. The person who is using AI effectively will take over the role of the person who is not capable of using AI. I think that was a very practical and strong statement. If you remember that, or if you put that in the context and understand what you need to do, I think the answer lies there to your question. So be it on the HR side, be it on the coding side, be it on any of the operational automation, other things, it AI is there to help you automate things, speed up things, bring in more efficiency, bring in more data accuracy, help you in your decision making skills and all of those things. So yeah, I mean, I'll not debate on what industry leaders have said about job losses and all of that. Yes, it will happen. Can you please go on mute some of the participants?
तो थोड़ी देर में जाके मैडम को लेना भी खत्म हो जाए गाड़ी वहीं ले जाओ मैडम
Hello, some of the participants, can you please go on mute? Thank you. So, just like how the BPO industry was kind of put on the back burner through technology, be it digital or AI or whatever, similarly, many of the other industries will go through that cycle. So, adaptability is key, and how to leverage that, leverage AI models and the technology to focus on your core skills, all right, to focus on things that we as humans can still do that is important. That is what we'll have to figure out. And of course, that is a moving goalpost. Today, the maturity models are at certain level, and you have a larger scope in still being valuable. But as we grow and the model maturity and other things are growing at a very fast pace. So this is where we also as humans have to adapt to it at the faster pace and figure out what is our niche skill set that we bring to the table that can complement what AI is doing. Only then we can survive, or else there is a big danger of we being not only eliminated, not being important in the life in the journey.
My apology is connected.
No, I think we moved on to another question, Surbhi. But the other question was on AI replacing HR and so forth. So I was just alluding to your last slide, which was very appropriate, right? AI will not replace HR on anybody else. It's the individual who doesn't adopt AI that will get replaced. That's a very strong statement and a very practical one. I was just expanding on that to answer the question.
Thank you so
Got
much.
it. Thank you.
So we have no more questions left in the chat box, except for the appreciation post from Ms. Anu Soman for the speakers.
Yeah. We can, I think with this, we can thank our resource persons who have given us great insights into how AI can be a facilitator. But from all the discussions we had, let me conclude for what are the finally takeaways which we had from the deliberations and from the interaction to the questions, how the resource persons have answered them. So what do we draw? AI systems operate based on patterns, algorithms, and data analysis. However, they often struggle to adapt to dynamic situations or understand the subtle nuances of human interactions. Humans can adapt to new circumstances, leverage contextual knowledge, and make informed judgments. This adaptability enables humans to navigate complex decision-making scenarios, evaluate the impact of AI-driven recommendations, and consider multiple perspectives. By combining the analytic power of AI with human contextual understanding, we can leverage the best of both worlds. At the intersection of human resources and cutting edge, AI lies at pivotal juncture that can redefine the employee experience. It's about harnessing the power of artificial intelligence with integrity and empathy, one where ethical AI becomes the catalyst for creating a workplace that truly understands, supports, and empowers its people. Humans bring ethical decision making, accountability, adaptability, and continuous improvement on the table. By integrating human expertise with AI systems, we can harness the full potential of technology while mitigating risk and ensuring a responsible and sustainable future. AI-based HR functions have strong impact on HR team, which make them more productive and innovative. It's not only helps them to enrich their knowledge or skills, but also help to boost motivation and performance of employees. AI will make decisions. It is only for HR managers' assistants, which help them in making the decisions, whether strategic or operational. It is not always possible that AI will provide with correct response or make the best decision. The HR manager should revisit and check algorithm and logic before making an important decision. Saving time in repetitive HR jobs will help managers to do more creative and strategic tasks for the success of the organization. The company's success depends on how they effectively and intelligently combine or manage people, process, and technology to deliver transformational value at optimal cost. HR applications empowered by AI have an ability to analyze, diagnose, predict, execute, and become more potential and dominant resource. Organizations should determine the need of AI and see how it can fit with their organizational values and culture before adopting the solutions from AI. Employees may get affected with AI in many ways, so careful assessment is a must that should be aligned with the need and the potential of employees. With these words, we thank our esteemed resource persons for sparing their valuable time and giving us valuable insights. Thank you so much. Over to Chandini. Chandini, are you there?
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So we can close the session.
I'm not very much in the meeting.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So I would like to thank Surabhi ma'am, Pravas sir. So thank you so much for sparing time for us. Such an interactive session we had. Thank you, Dhar ma'am. We'll again be continuing post lunch at 2:15 p.m. with a panel discussion. Thank you once again, everyone, for joining.
Okay. Thank you,
Thank you
everyone.
so much, Surabhi. Thank you so much, Pravas.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you.
एकता राठी सर की स्वागत है। मैंने सर को तो खिला दी, सर ने बोला खिला दो और आपको दे
Will you join us, both? ठीक है मैम, फिर खाना खा लीजिए। अदिति, मैं तो लॉग आउट नहीं कर रही हूँ क्योंकि लॉग इन करने में बहुत टाइम में लगता है ना।
यस
तो
मैम।
ये लिंक चलेगी तो यहीं लगे रहे ना।
जी जी मैम।